Wanting passion and intense feelings above everything means that something else is going on. I am Pauline and I am so happy you are here because this obsession for passion can lead you astray. It can lead to toxic relationships, it can lead to unfulfilling and empty feeling relationships, and it can lead to doubts and you just being unhappy in a relationship that you could actually be really, really happy in. So let's dive into this obsession for passion. I remember so well when I thought that passion was just everything. Passion was an absolute non negotiable in my relationships. And the image I had of passion was that it was all consuming, it was there all the time. And if a relationship wouldn't have passion, I thought people were crazy for being in relationships without that image of passion that I had and without having those really intense feelings. I felt like, well, what is the use then? Why are you in a relationship? Why would you be with somebody if you don't have that intense passion? And that's the lens that I viewed all my relationships through. Even in a way, also my friendships, but definitely mostly my romantic relationships. Um, and so I had relationships or I was in love with uh, people that just I felt these intense feelings for, but it wasn't good for me. It wasn't nourishing. It wasn't fulfilling. It didn't feel good. It felt like I should have that. And in a way, I guess it felt good, but more in a way that it was familiar. And we'll dive into that in a minute. So I when I met my now husband 16 years ago, that's such a long time, isn't it? And what I felt was calm, and it was quiet, peaceful. I was like, this cannot be right. This is not what love is supposed to feel like. And that was such a signal that my image of love was leading me more than um, what I was actually feeling and what was actually feeling good in my body. So I had this image of passion being love. Love was almost equal to passion. The more passion you felt, the more passionate the relationship was, the more that would mean that it was love. And I had a very skewed image of even what passion was, let alone love. I had no idea. I just had this image that is very much being portrayed in Hollywood movies and series, especially when you've grown up in the 90s and 2000s. The movies that came out then is, man, I could talk about that for hours, but the image that we got from love from those movies is just, it never leads to happy relationships and marriages. So I thought that intense passion was love. And what actually I saw as passion was drama and was toxicity to a certain degree. Um, and it had nothing to do with love. It had nothing to do with love. And so I had to learn so much and release so much negative associations around that calm love or around love so that I could actually feel in my body that that calm love was way more fulfilling. It was almost like that passionate love that I was searching for was junk food. You know, McDonald's can taste amazing, but it's not nourishing for your body. And you feel like crap in a few hours or the next day. It just gives you kind of that high. It's almost addictive. And so the way it tastes good is not really good for your body, whereas just a very nourishing whole foods meal is very nourishing for your body. And once you're accustomed to that, you're like, I don't ever want to eat McDonald's again. It just that also, I respect myself way too much to do that, but it just doesn't taste good anymore. It's not even an option anymore. And I feel the same way now about relationships and love. I used to crave that passionate love above everything. I wanted that passionate love. And now I have that calm, peaceful, deeply fulfilling, and rich love. And I'm like, oh man, that girl from, 16 years ago, 20 years ago, had no idea how good this could feel. And that passionate love, like the passion I viewed as passionate, to me, that now seems like McDonald's. I would never want to go back to that, because I respect myself too much for that. And I know what feels good in my body now. So there is a difference between the image of passion that we have and actually loving passion. Because maybe you are watching this video and as I was talking, you were like, well, do I then have to accept a relationship without passion? I am not going to do that. And you don't have to. It's not that I'm saying that passion should not be in your relationship and then it's a good relationship. It always has to feel calm and quiet and peaceful. Not at all. It's the source that the passion comes from that makes it nourishing for your body, nourishing for your relationships. And I think 99% of people have an image of passion that stems from fear, that stems from wanting to be accepted, wanting approval, wanting to feel good enough, wanting to feel desired out of old wounds. And when you're searching for passion from that source, you're searching for a high. You're searching for that feeling of finally somebody wants me, somebody needs me. That all stems from fear. That all stems from lack. And it's not that that's bad. It's not that that's wrong. Not at all. It just doesn't lead to happy, fulfilling, deeply fulfilling relationships. And that's what I want for you. So there is a different source of love or of passion, and that is from love, and that is from intimacy, and that is from friendship. Bet you didn't expect that one. Because friendship is not something completely different from relationships. Friendship is the basis, the foundation of happy relationships. This is what you find when you interview people who have been married for a long time. I've interviewed 100 couples happily married for over 40 years. I've written a book about it in Dutch, I'm sorry. But also, that was just 100 couples. But John Gottman, for instance, the absolute research god in this area, he has observed thousands of couples. And he found that the foundation of happy, long-lasting, fulfilling marriages is actually friendship. And in the time that I wanted passion, I wanted intense feelings, if you would have told me that friendship is actually a foundation of a happy marriage, I would not have believed you. I thought if you felt friendship, that meant it was wrong. Like that meant you had to break up because you're not supposed to be friends, right? You're not supposed to feel friendship as a foundation with your partner, because then you will end up feeling like roommates, and that's a reason to break up or divorce, right? It's not. We have such skewed images of what love is, of what happy marriage is, and what leads to happy marriages. So now that you know that, passion can come from the source of love, just unconditional love, and intimacy and friendship. And it makes sense, right? Because you cannot build true passion without vulnerability. You will not feel vulnerable with somebody who doesn't feel safe, who doesn't unconditionally love you, who doesn't support you and nourish you. The more safe you feel, the more vulnerable you can be, the more exquisite passion you will experience. So why Why? Why do we have this obsession for passion? Especially when you have the fearful avoidant attachment style, because this attachment style, the fearful avoidant, is really focused on feelings more than any of the other attachment styles. And so you kind of put feelings in general on a pedestal. You feel like the more intense your feelings are, the more truth there is to them. So the more in love you are with somebody, the more passion you feel with somebody, you assume, you believe that that means that they are more right for you. And there are several reasons for that. One is that feelings when you grew up were very micromanaged in a way, probably. You never really learned to process negative feelings. You were supposed to be happy all the time because that was just easier for your parent who wasn't also able to really process emotions. But also it's familiar to your nervous system. So passion, the feeling of passion is familiar to your nervous system, and so you chase those feelings, that rush of dopamine, that rush of adrenaline, and you kind of confuse that with love because that's what you know. I have healed so much and so long on the relationship with my father because that's where this originated. Because I loved him more than anything, and he was quite threatening to my nervous system. He could get angry out of nowhere. He could get judgmental and critical out of nowhere. And so whenever I was around him, my nervous system was just completely dysregulated. And when he would be kind, which he could also very well be, loving, kind, tuned in, that's when that felt like a high to my nervous system. And so I chased that, and that's what I wanted to feel, and that's what love felt like, and that's what I searched for, and I thought passion was. So I just wanted to feel as intense emotions as possible and intense feelings as possible. And then one of the reasons also why you have this obsession for passion is because mostly there's perfectionism underlying this. You want things to be perfect because when they're perfect, you're safe. And so feelings, and the more intense feelings are, the more safe you will be. That's what your fear brain believes. So feelings equate to certainty and safety. When you don't feel anything, you are scared that that will mean something. When you feel calm and peace, your fear brain is like, well, no, this is not right. We can't have calm and peace because something is bound to happen. Like a parent is going to be angry, but that's not what your fear brain knows or thinks. So that's the digging that we have to do ourselves. Your fear brain has a really hard time with calm and peace because that's not the association that it has with being safe. So the more intense your feelings are, the more your fear brain feels like it's going to be safe. The thing is, it's never enough, right? So when you feel passion, when you feel love, when you feel beautiful feelings, it's always, I want more of it. I want it to be there for longer. I have to hold on to it. It has to be more intense. So it's never enough. And then you know that that's perfectionism, and perfectionism always stems from fear. So this is what most fearful avoidants believe, that feelings equate to certainty and safety, the intensity of feelings. And you want to have the most intense positive feelings, so passion, love, also because you don't want to experience negative feelings. You don't want to experience any more pain. Most fearful avoidants, if not all, have had a traumatic childhood. And so you have had your fair share of pain. and negative feelings, and you've never learned how to process those and how to hold space for those and how to love yourself through those. And so negative feelings and pain feel very threatening. So what is the solution from your fear brain? If I just have the most intense positive feelings, I will never have negative feelings again. I won't ever have to deal with them. If I am perfect, if my feelings are perfect, if my relationship is perfect, if my partner is perfect, I won't ever have to deal with negative feelings again. I won't ever have to deal with pain again. And that's not truth, because we are meant to experience the full range of emotions. And I can imagine that that sounds threatening to you now. You're like, I don't want to feel those negative feelings. But I remember so well, I was with a therapist I adored. And she said, well, what do you want? Where do you want to go? And I was like, I just want to feel positive feelings, only positive feelings. And she said, and I thought that was like enlightenment. I said, I just want to be enlightened. I only want to have positive feelings. And she said, I think enlightenment doesn't mean that you only have positive feelings. It means that you're okay whether there's positive or negative feelings. And even the negative feelings feel okay. And I remember this was a therapist that I absolutely adored. She was amazing. And I just thought, oh, you don't get it. And I walked out of that session thinking, nope, I'm going to find a way to only have positive feelings and never have a negative feeling again. So fast forward about 10 years. Now I know that she was absolutely right. But the thing is, I am not scared of any feeling anymore. Even the hardest ones, the guilt, the shame, they're fine. If I feel them, and I don't a lot, they're fine. I am not even how do you say that? I can hold space for those, and they just move through my body really quickly. And so not being afraid of any feelings is such freedom. And because of that, all feelings become a positive experience. Because wanting to have positive experiences or positive feelings is a negative experience. And because I allow and welcome the whole range of emotions and feelings now, and I don't attach any meaning to it. So your fear brain is really good at saying, well, if you're feeling this, that means that. If you're feeling this, that means that. I can do another video on that. If you want that, let me know. Let me know in the comments. I will make another video on that. But I don't attach meaning to it anymore at all. So all those feelings are welcome. And therefore, that's a positive experience. Feeling anything is a positive experience for me. Not saying I'm enlightened whatsoever. That's not my goal anymore. Because that stemmed from fear. But it does give a sense of unshakable peace, to not be afraid of feelings, to not be afraid of thoughts. And that's what I wish for you. So what I want you to know is that passion is a beautiful thing when it stems from love, friendship, intimacy. And the obsession for passion stems from fear, and you can release that. You can heal that, so you can allow that really nourishing, fulfilling feeling of love. I am so happy you are here. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Healed and Happy is a tailor-made online program where me and my team personally guide you through healing the roots of the fearful avoidant attachment style.